Hi, it's Peggy again with Pads for Girls, and welcome to video number 5, where we're going to turn the pad right side out. So after you've sewn all around and you left your opening here, you're going to take, so that you have the print piece and the plastic piece in one hand and the plain piece in the other hand, and you're just going to kind of finagle this through and push the whole pad through that hole. That's why you want to make it big enough. You'll learn, if you make the hole too small a few times, you'll learn to make it a little bigger. In our group, we have some people who don't sew, but they like to turn these pads right side out for the people who do sew, which is lovely. Sometimes we take a pencil or something and poke it in there to help poke all these sides out so that I've got it all. So if you notice, the insides are now in the insides where they belong. All right. Couple things about this. The next thing you're going to do is pin around the edges, and it's tricky to pin the spot that was where you had the opening. And you're going to have to tuck those pieces, those raw edges in, and pin them so that you can sew them down and so that they don't sneak out. So that's where that little turn the corner thing helps you get started. It just makes it a little bit easier to get this started. So in this spot where you're turning these raw edges in, you're going to use quite a few pins. Just poke those edges in. The reason we want the raw edges poked in is so that they don't ravel. We always say when we're making these pads, they don't have to be perfect. We're not making some garment that's going to be judged by some kind of a judge. They don't have to look perfect. If your seams aren't 100% straight or whatever, it doesn't matter. But what we do want is for them to be sturdy. And getting all these ends tucked in is going to help them be sturdy because they won't ravel. These pads should last several years, and they will last several years if we make them sturdy. All right, I'm going to move on because I think you get the idea on that. And I want to show you one other thing. Even when you use your pencil to poke out the seams, some of these seams are not poked out. They're poked in. So what I do is I take my pin and I go kind of fishing in there to get the edge of the seam and pull it out so that you don't have anything poked in anymore. And I usually will put a pin there because sometimes after I poke it out, it tries to poke back in. So I'm going to do that all the way around the pad. So I make sure all these seams are poked out, and then when it's finished in this stage, it should look about like this. Lots of pins where the opening was and a few pins around the rest of it. And I'll stop this video here.